Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and this one, the third tutorial of mine using the Pioneer DJ Interface 2. Now in this video I'm going to show you how you rip traditional audio vinyl to your laptop for use in Rekordbox as a WAV or MP3 file. There's a couple of reasons why you might want to do this. One of the reasons may be that your friend has bought a vinyl over that you can't get hold of anymore, and you want to record that to your own laptop so you've got it to use in Rekordbox. It's technically illegal, so not one that I would recommend. Or the other one, which I use it for mainly, is to rip my own vinyl to a WAV file or MP3 so that I'm not going to be playing the actual vinyl and damaging it, scratching it any more than it already is. So in my setup, I've got the DJ Interface 2 controller constantly plugged into my mixer and my turntables, and the USB is always plugged into my laptop, meaning that whenever I DJ, I have to make sure that Rekordbox is open. So I'm going to head into the laptop now because we need to make a couple of changes in Rekordbox to enable us to play a normal audio vinyl. So here on Rekordbox, I'm going to be using the right turntable in my setup, which is this one here. I've got a track already loaded in, and I want to make sure that nothing is loaded on that track. So I'm just going to hover over where the art is here and eject the track from Rekordbox. Next thing I want to do is come down here to change this setting here. Now it is set to absolute. That is a setting that Rekordbox uses to know its absolute position on the control vinyl in order to play music through Rekordbox correctly. Because we're not going to be using Rekordbox to play music, we're actually going to be using our own vinyl. We need to change this setting here by clicking on the arrows and selecting through. What this setting does is it makes sure that the signal is going to bypass or go through Rekordbox but not interfere with anything on there. Next thing we want to do is get our vinyl, which is this one here, System F out of the blue for me, and you want to make sure it is nice and clean. So I've got some record cleaning solution here, and you basically spray it on the vinyl, and I always then turn the turntable on, a microfiber cloth here, give it a clean as it's spinning round, and then hold it, give it a bit more of a clean. A little bit of dust on there. Next thing I do is I've got this dust remover as well, and I'm just going to hover it lightly on the record and collect any dust that might be on that. With my little dust kit there came this little tool here. It's a tiny little brush, and that is for cleaning your needle. So you want to wipe off any dust that may be caught on your actual stylus there. So once that's done, onto our mixer. We need to make sure that our EQ levels are all at 0. You don't want to be giving your recording any extra treble, less bass, more mid, or anything like that. You pretty much want your recording to sound exactly how the producer wanted his record to sound. So set everything to 0. Make sure your volume control is all the way up at the top. Before we start recording, I'm going to give this a playthrough, checking my meter here on the channel to make sure that I'm not going to be peaking at any point or redlining or anything like that, because you want your record to be as perfect as possible. So I'm just going to give this a playthrough. I've turned my master volume down so you won't hear any music, but it will still come on the UV meter. And it's playing just at about 4 decibels here, between 4 and 7. Anything on my mixer 10 or more is redlining, so you don't want to be hitting 10. 7 is your max. So we'll give that a full playthrough, and I'm just going to keep an eye on my dB meter here to make sure I'm not redlining. So I'm back now with nearly at the end of the record. At no point did we go into the 10 decibels. We hit around the 4 and 7. So I'm quite happy that when I record this track into the laptop, we're not going to get a distorted mix. So we're just going to stop that right now, and we're going to head back onto the laptop, and I'll show you how we set up our recording software. So we're here in Audacity. It's a free piece of software and is ideal for recording audio. So first of all, I want to make sure I'm selecting my sound card that is taking the signal from the mixer. So I'm going to go to Edit and Preferences. And in recording, I want to make sure that my device is my M Audio Fast Track, which it is. If you hit down, you'll see all the other recording devices that you've got. Do not hit or select the Pioneer DJ interface because that won't work. So I'm going to pick my sound card, which is that one, and making sure that I'm recording with 2-channel stereo, which I am. So we'll hit OK. So again, what I'm going to do here is give my vinyl another quick clean, because dust will settle on it every time you stop. So I'm going to start the vinyl again and just give it a bit of a clean. So we'll collect any dust off that. And then back into Audacity, and we're going to hit the record button there. And as you can see, Audacity is now recording. I'm now going to put my needle on the record and record that track all the way through. Now, I'm not expecting you to sit here for the 8 or so minutes of this track is the length of this track. So I'll come back to you just as we're hitting the end of the recording. So our record's nearing the end of its playthrough, and it's literally just finished now. So what we can do is once our needle starts moving towards the center, we know that there's no more audio to be played. We can turn the turntable off. Back into Audacity, we can see that there's nothing more being recorded, and we'll hit the stop button right there. So what I want to do is just zoom out, and I want to get rid of all this dead space where there's no audio, and I'm going to start it from about there, and I'm just going to click and drag to select all of that there. Once that's selected, I'll press delete, and we can get rid of the audio that basically is nothing. I'm going to now go right back to the beginning of our recording, because we had some dead space there as well. And as you can see, our track starts there, so just a little bit before, I'm going to select all of that and hit delete there as well. So now we have our complete recording. I'm just going to zoom all the way out so we can see it all. Now it's quite quiet, which is ideal for a recording because we don't want to be too loud in the laptop. But what we can do now is just boost this volume so that when we play it through Rekordbox, it's not going to be hard to hear. So what we're going to do is click on the audio. So we've selected everything. Then we go to Effect, Volume and Compression, and click Amplify. Now Audacity will pick a volume that it thinks is ideal. So I'm just going to accept that and click Apply. And it has now amplified that audio so that we're not going to be peaking anywhere through. Now I'm quite happy that it's done a good job there. So I'm not going to mess around with it anymore. And I'm just going to now save that. So I'm going to click on its File, Export. And I want to export this at the best possible audio. So I'm going to export it as a WAV file. You can export it as an MP3 if you wish. I'm going to pick WAV. It will then ask me where I want to save it. As default, it asks me if I want to save it in my Audacity folder, but I don't. What I'm going to go is my folder where I save all my music. I'm going to save it in recordings here. And I'm now going to type the full title of the track. So I'm going to press save. I can add tags in here. So I'll add tags because that will help Rekordbox. So artist name is System F. Track title is Out of the Blue. And I'm going to put the genre in here as Classic Trance. You can put whatever you want in there, so that's absolutely fine. And I'm now going to click OK. Doesn't take very long, and that has now saved our WAV file. So I'm going to close Audacity down now. And if I want to save the project, I don't need to save it as I've already just exported the WAV file. So I'm going to click no. And what I want to do now is to load that audio that I've just saved into Rekordbox. So I'm going to bring up my folders here, navigate to my recording, and I can see it there. And I'm just going to now click and drag into Rekordbox. It say it's importing, and if I go at the top, I can see that that's the track there. What I'm going to do now is just click and drag and put it into my right hand deck there. And I'm now going to change the settings to absolute so that this will now play through Rekordbox. Next thing I'm going to do is come over here to the turntables. I'm going to take System F out of the blue off, and I'm going to put on my Pioneer control vinyl. These play at 33 RPM, so I'm going to set that back to 33. Give our record a clean if you want to clean it. I'm quite happy that mine's quite clean already. I am going to clean my needle again. And I'm going to put my needle on the record. Volumes are all up, but my master's turned down. And what we want to do now is just take a look at Rekordbox, and we now should be playing our ripped WAV file of System F out of the blue through Rekordbox. So we press play. And as we can see, we'll look at our meter there, our record's playing, and we're now playing that ripped WAV file through Rekordbox. Meaning that I don't need to play this vinyl anymore. I can preserve its condition and put it with my rest of my collection and use that WAV file now through Rekordbox using the control vinyl and the DJ interface too, rather than playing the audio vinyl. So there you have it. That is how you rip your audio vinyl to your laptop to be able to use through Rekordbox. Remember, always take a nice clean recording, so make sure your vinyl is clean and make sure that your EQs are all at 0, because you don't want to have a dodgy recording, because that will sound awful when you play it through Rekordbox. Remember, any distortion that you make on that initial recording will be recorded into that audio file, so when you play it through Rekordbox, you'll hear it through there. If you've got a particularly poor quality vinyl with lots of pops and clicks all the way through, they'll come out on the vinyl, and when you play them through Rekordbox, those sounds will also be on there. So try and get your vinyl as clean as possible before you play it, because that's what your recording will be like. So until the next tutorial, guys, stay safe and happy DJing.